everyone talks about Regina George. She's the one people remember, the queen of the plastics, the girl who controlled the entire social hierarchy at North Shore High. But the real story of the plastics might actually be Gretchen Wieners. Because while Regina ruled the social system, Gretchen spent almost the entire time trying to protect her place inside it. And that mindset is something far more common than Regina's, because not everyone wants to be the person in power. Some people just want to stay close to it, and that's exactly what Gretchen did. From the outside, Gretchen looked like Regina's best friend. She sat beside her, defended her, repeated everything Regina said like it was the most important thing in the world. But the truth is, Gretchen's relationship with Regina was never equal. Regina was the leader. Karen mostly followed along. But Gretchen was the one constantly trying to keep the entire structure together. She paid attention to everything Regina did, what she liked, what she didn't like, who she trusted, who she suddenly decided she didn't like anymore. Because Gretchen understood something very important. Her place in the plastics depended entirely on Regina George's approval. And when someone's status depends on another person like that, everything they do starts revolving around keeping that person happy. And that's exactly what Gretchen did, over and over again. Even when Regina embarrassed her, even when Regina ignored her, even when Regina clearly didn't treat her like an equal, Gretchen stayed loyal. Because for Gretchen, losing Regina's approval meant losing something much bigger, her place in the entire social hierarchy. Being one of the plastics meant status. It meant people paid attention to you. It meant being part of the most powerful group in the school. And Gretchen didn't want to lose that. So she defended Regina. She repeated Regina's opinions. She tried to keep everyone in line, because if the system stayed intact, Gretchen stayed safe. But the problem with building your identity around someone else's power is that the moment that power shifts, everything becomes unstable. And slowly, that's exactly what started happening. Regina began trusting Gretchen less, listening to her less, treating her more like a messenger than a friend. And the more Regina pulled away, the more desperate Gretchen became to hold onto her place. You can see it in the way she reacts when people don't listen to her, the way she gets frustrated when things start slipping out of control. Because Gretchen isn't just worried about Regina being upset. She's worried about losing the entire system that protects her. For someone like Gretchen, social stability is everything. And when that stability starts disappearing, panic starts to take over. Because once Regina's control begins to weaken, Gretchen's position becomes uncertain too. And eventually, all that pressure builds up. The loyalty, the insecurity, the constant need for approval. Until Gretchen finally reaches her limit. Because even the most loyal people eventually realize something. No matter how hard you try, you can't build your identity around someone else forever. At some point, that pressure becomes too much. And when that happens, the system starts breaking apart. Gretchen Wieners spent so much time trying to protect Regina George's world that she almost forgot what it meant to have a place of her own. But Gretchen wasn't the only other member of the plastics. Because while Regina ruled the hierarchy, and Gretchen desperately tried to protect her place inside it, someone else seemed almost completely unaffected by the entire system. Someone who never seemed stressed about status. Someone who didn't appear nearly as worried about approval. And that was Karen Smith. Her mindset is completely different from both Regina and Gretchen. And strangely enough, it might actually be the most freeing mindset of all. So next, we're breaking down the Karen Smith mindset, and why the person who seemed the least aware of the social hierarchy might have been the least controlled by it.